Tacos, welcome to this episode of SpellCast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Doing
Awesome.
absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, dude, no problem, no problem. Always great to have all these great people on, especially you. One of the best, if I do say so myself. Now, those of you that are new joining in, this is Spellcast. It is a weekly podcast that I put on. I'm your host, OSK. Of course, our guest Tacos here will be going live every weekend at around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If the time changes, I will let you know beforehand. You can always get a nice head start on all that by following the socials down below. Have a nice Twitter. And that reminds me, actually, Tacos, before we go any further, I actually need to change the description to your socials. So let me get on that real quick. We'll get you nice and, promoted, and we'll be
Appreciate
good.
it.
Yeah. So while I'm doing that, go ahead and talk to us about like how you got into Spellbreak and what really opened the door for what you currently do now.
So, actually, when I heard about Spellbreak, I wasn't even on PC yet. I had never even played
Oh.
a game on computer yet.
Oh wow.
A buddy at work came up to me, and we work in a warehouse, and he's like, "Yo, dude, you gotta check out this game." And he showed me the pre-alpha like kind of showcase of the gameplay that we've all seen 100 million times. And then I found out it was battle royale, and I was sold. Just I'm ready. This was probably around December where I actually heard about the game. And then fast forward some months. Well, when I heard about the game, I signed up for it and found out that it was only PC, so I was sad. Then fast forward some months, I woke up one day and I went to Best Buy and bought a computer, just super impulsively. And then I played various games, and then I remembered that I signed up for a code for this game. So I put in the code, and there it is. That's how I started playing Spellbreak.
That's awesome, dude. And I think actually, like as we go into these further discussions, you're actually one of the few people who actually that I talk to that enjoys the battle royale mode like a lot more than some of these others that I hear about. Can you kind of break that down? Why you're so in love with this battle royale genre?
To be honest, I have no idea.
Oh,
It
really?
might be the satisfaction of someone literally being taken out of the game when I exile them. Um, Maybe it's that, but just the whole
Yeah.
idea of there's a bunch of people on the map, and I'm the last one, and I didn't die. No, it's
Hey,
addicting. I love it.
hey, it works. It works well for a lot of people, and particularly works well for you in comparison. So I'm actually of the other mind here. I kind of like Battle Royale, but I'm ready for a change, you know? Like I'm ready for I was ready for Clash when it came out. I know you have some choice words about Clash. So we'll get into that here pretty soon, but personally, like the way I see it, I got into Spellbreak myself just due to the combat. Like I love the combat so much, and it's like that action of landing some big damage, flicking over, getting my movement to shift me over like way over to the right, and then get another source of big damage out. And I really like doing that in quick succession. I came from like a long history of console games and also Overwatch, to where like I was playing a lot of fighting games whenever I was in middle school or high school. And one of my favorite games was the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games. If you ever played those, where you can just like line up a ton and ton of combos, and that's kind of what brought me in. So for me, like the fighting is what really got me in, and that's probably why I enjoy Clash a little bit more than Battle Royale. But we can go ahead and get into that discussion as we go into this most recent patch 1.2 that brought us this Clash mode. You can always give your thoughts because I know you have some choice words for it.
So when I first played Clash in closed beta one, um, I was really just, for lack of a better word, unimpressed. It's not what I expected from like a team deathmatch mode.
Yeah.
And when they made it so it was the only mode that we could play, I completely stopped playing. I really didn't enjoy it that much.
Oh, I forgot about that actually. It was the only mode for a while.
Mhm. And then I don't think I actually picked up the game again because I think CB1 closed shortly after that. And
Yeah.
then when I heard that they were bringing it back, I was like really excited because I was thinking like, oh, they probably took a lot of our feedback and made a lot of changes to it to improve it.
Mm-hmm.
But they just kind of like added some UI elements, and
Yeah, it was
essentially
it's the
the
exact
same
same.
game, exactly the same
Yeah.
game. Um,
Yeah.
it's boring for me because it's so mindless. You don't have to think about anything. You just throw out things, and there's no consequence for dying. Oh, sure, like the enemy team gets a point, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's just a clash game. It really doesn't matter if you win or not.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that. And yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you. Like personally, I don't mind the game mode. I actually like it quite a bit just for having like this random time where I can go into Spellbreak and just enjoy the combat over and over and over. For me it's the wait time of Battle Royale that I don't like. I wish there was like a way to I know, I know. I would just like to get in a match a little bit quicker. I feel like that would really help the Battle Royale argument for me personally. Maybe that's more of a player count than a game issue.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I like Clash quite a bit just because I can fight over and over and over. If I die, I don't wait 5 minutes to get into a match.
It's a good warm up
But
for me.
yeah, it's a nice break, I guess is a good word for it.
Yeah, I can
It's a
agree with
nice
that.
break. And I don't know, I guess what I would like to see, I wasn't a big fan of the looting phase. Like I thought that they would really try to phase that out because the looting for
so
me.
pointless. Like
Yeah.
it's just BR with respawn at that point.
Yeah, it's really weird to me, you know? Like I personally I would very much like to see something different, like maybe a spawn area, or maybe I can choose my loadout before I get in. Like that's my whole thing. That's why I'm so ready for this new mode that they're talking about. I know Seth in particular has mentioned something about an economy based game mode with you.
Yeah,
That
that
I
was
saw on that
cool,
stream.
man. That was really cool. Like if he could
Yeah.
just snap his fingers and put a game mode in, what would it be? And it's that a sort of CS:GO-esque game mode.
Yeah.
That was so cool. I was just like, yes, yes.
Like actually got an answer instead of soon, which is always nice.
Or we'll have to see.
Yeah, that was like a really really great direct
Because
answer.
he
I was
also
really
confirmed
happy.
that they're working on a new rune.
Yeah. Oh, they are.
Yes. And I
That.
asked him, well, I know the answer to this question. What does it do? And he just laughed and said,
Oh yeah.
you'll have to wait and see.
I remember that one actually. Now that I think about it, that was on. I think Crashy covered that pretty well and like put up the VOD. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I found out about that. But I forgot about that. Yeah, new rune in the works. So that's cool. And of course we're talking about how there's a new gauntlet and a new class on the way out. They announced that during Twitch Rivals. So I'm really interested to
all
see.
that information. I've just been hearing about it.
I can actually pull it up, I believe, if I want to. I can pull it up on my other screen right here. But it honestly, like I want to, but it would also take like a ton of time trying to dig through the VOD. But
No worries.
anyway, the point is that they did in fact confirm that there is a new gauntlet, new class on the way out. I don't remember if it was with Cardell, but I know Crashy at least was talking about it, how it's going to be based on something that's already in the game, but it is going to be a new element.
So that's three things that it could be:
Yeah, which three do you have?
water, arcane, and plants.
Yeah, I think I know that. Well, who's that guy? The main host of Twitch Rivals, that was with Crashy. I think it's Wavepunk is his name.
No idea, actually.
I think it's Wavepunk, but he was talking about how like he hopes it's a water gauntlet or something like that. And
I think
I'm
water
like,
makes the most sense.
yeah, like I think it does, like in terms of ease of development. At the same time, I really hope it's arcane because I want Noodle to get some love.
I feel
love
like
Noodle.
we won't actually get an arcane class for some reason. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really fit as an actual spell in Spellbreak. It was like people come up
Yeah.
with like concepts all the time, and like I don't know, there's a certain aesthetic of Spellbreak where like I
Mhm.
could see certain stuff working, I couldn't see other stuff working. And Arcane's one of those things where I don't think it would work.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like what kind of spell and sorcery it would be. Like you could potentially like lob a bomb out of arcane energy, kind of like a boulder, but a little bit different. And with with the spell, you could probably charge it up, kind of. Like
Like
it's
frost.
almost, yeah. It's
That's a
it's kind of
thing.
hard. It's kind of
'Cause,
hard to
like,
like make it unique, in my
all the
opinion.
gauntlets are a weapon, right? You know, Toxic's a shotgun, fire's a
Yeah,
rocket launcher, etc.
yeah.
So, what weapon are we missing from the pool that a new gauntlet could be?
Maybe an
Uh,
AoE kind of 360 thing. I don't know.
yeah. Let's get more AOE in the game. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'll work. But no, you make a good point. Like I'm trying to think what else we could put because we have sniper, we have assault rifle, we have SMG, we have shotgun. Um, could potentially do something like how Boulder is, but on a spell. Like you could have like a little grenade launcher type thing.
So I'm
That could
thinking
potentially
like
work.
Junkrat from Overwatch.
Yeah, kind of. And then you
Interesting.
could like I'm just trying to think like what else you could put. You
Right.
could have a
It's
track.
difficult, right?
You could have a track beam, but that's really cancer.
That's just lightning.
Yeah, I'm just going through my list of Overwatch heroes right now. You can make a melee class. That'd be interesting. But that's kind of like that's kind of similar to Toxic in a way.
Yeah. At that point, it's like, why would you use melee when you have Toxic? That's
Yeah.
another thing that comes into play is like if you make a gauntlet somewhat similar to another gauntlet, what reason do you have to use that gauntlet over the other one?
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa.
Yeah. That's kind of like how well that kind of ties into you a little bit. Like I feel like that's kind of where wind is in a sense. Like I feel like lightning at a certain range is just a better wind, and I feel like wind at a certain range is a better lightning, like in terms of close range versus long range.
I can see that.
Yeah,
But that's
so
kind of like an AR is just an SMG at long range, and an SMG is just an AR at short range type thing.
yeah, and nothing's a UMP from Modern Warfare 2, unfortunately.
Oh, take me back, dude. It was a simpler time.
A simpler time when no one cared about metas. It was great. It was awesome. I remember putting like what is it, lightweight, the
Marathon, lightweight, and ninja or commando. That was like
yeah.
that was like the build, man.
Ninja was a way of life, let me tell you. Ninja was a way of life. You
The
literally
ninja
just so
diffuses.
silent.
Oh,
Ninja
they're
diffusion was so
legendary.
good. Yeah, I remember like literally going prone behind someone planting a bomb, and then you immediately defuse as they're leaving. They're like, "What? I just planted it. What
So
happened?"
good.
And there was all chat. That's what we need. That's what we need to Spellbreak.
never
We need some
look
all
back.
chat.
Can you imagine proximity chat in Spellbreak?
I want it so bad, honestly.
You know how toxic it would be?
Yes, I do, and that's why I want it.
Like
I want it
Spellbreak
so
got
bad.
such a high skill gap that I feel like it would be just as toxic as H1Z1 prox chat.
How bad was H1Z1? I didn't play it.
If you played Modern Warfare 2, of course, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say it's probably twice, if not 3 times as worse.
Oh, really?
Now you do get the people that are like, yo man, like nice shots, GG's brother. But then you get the people that are just like N-word, 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 and
Oh,
fucking
beautiful.
bomb, blah 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 blah. Like it's toxic.
Beautiful.
It's bad.
So it's toxic as the puddle behind you.
Because you have no exactly.
Yeah.
You have no consequence with prox chat really.
Yeah.
Although
I
I
feel
would
that.
enjoy it. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, and it in comparison to like I'm trying to compare it a little bit in my mind to League chat, but it sounds so much worse now that I think about it. Because like you can't even track it unless someone's actually listening.
Yep.
So it's like, ugh, yeah. I could see that. At the same time, like PUBG proximity chat was pretty fun. I really liked that one.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I loved H1Z1 prox chat. It was like it's made so many memories and so many friends of mine. Literally just because I played H1Z1 with prox chat on.
I would be the guy that like plays the Pokemon battle theme through prox chat and just like have Pokemon Fire Red music playing while I'm exiling somebody.
That's so good.
I feel like that would be hilarious. Man, I have so many memories of that game too, but we're getting a little bit off topic. I want to talk about a few things. So, this prologue system that I'm looking through, I'm just going to go through these patch notes and list off every single change that we have because I'm lazy and I can't think about thoughts by myself. So,
Thinking's hard.
yeah, it is hard, you know. We feel the struggle. So, talking about this little thing here, let me just get it on screen for everybody. There we go. There's a nice little ad if you want to donate to people who need hunger or who need food. But anyway, prologue chapter. So what do you think about it? Like, personally, I thought it was a little short, but they acknowledged it. I think that Clash definitely had an effect on it. But I kind of like the idea of paying into a battle pass while also like feeding into the story of the game. And honestly, like prologue, I think was good because it was free, obviously. But chapter 1 being $10, I feel like isn't really that bad.
So prologue is awesome. Like we got a lot of free stuff, and it was a good taste of progression. It felt like kind of like a test almost, because we finished it so quick. Like pretty much everyone finished it within the first week.
Yeah, except for me.
Besides
I'm level 24.
fast and how easy it was to complete, I think prologue was awesome. It was a good taste. I think the lore integration is, where is it essentially? Like, sure, you have a Vera or whatever her name is, like talk at the beginning of every week, but where's the actual like lore for like the game? Like, people don't know that the Hollowlands is originally called the Highlands until the fracture happened. Like, where's that kind of stuff? That
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. So I'm a Highlander.
Where's that kind of lore where we learn about the Hollowlands and the history of it and stuff, not just like there's 6 gauntlets and they're very strong. Yeah. Like that's basically what she says at the beginning of every week.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree with you there. One thing I want to see change in relation to the gauntlet thing is we only get like 1 per week and we have to wait the entire week to get it. I hope that it's not like you only get to learn this part of the story after the next week. Like I really hope it's something that we can like complete all at once if we want to. Or you learn it like through the leveling. Like you get to level 30 and there's another piece. You get to level 35 and there's another piece.
Well, like it depends on like if they do the week by week thing, it depends on how much story they actually give us in a week.
Yeah.
They just give us little tiny snippets like we're getting now. It's gonna be pretty like lackluster. Mm-hmm. But if we actually learn things about the Hollowlands and stuff with it, I don't know. The week by week thing might be okay, but I do like your idea of going at like, you know, every like 5 levels or so, you get another bit of information. That would be really cool.
It would keep me playing, which will get us into our next topic of progression, which I know that we have been talking about a lot on Twitter. I've been hearing a lot of videos talk about it. And we were talking about it before this podcast that we believe that it's something that Spellbreak desperately needs is a lot of progression. And this will also tie into the whole skin thing that we saw with the outfits that showed up in the shop, about your dedication to the outfit and how much money you're willing to spend on it. So first, let's talk about progression, though, because I want to talk about like what you would like to see in progression. Personally, I'm a fan that, of course, eventually we're going to have a ranked mode, and there will be another game mode that probably links into that I'm probably going to be grinding my butt off for imaginary internet points.
Yep.
So that'd be cool. But in terms of like right now, like what could they put in that you would like to grind for?
Literally anything, man. Just literally anything. Like give us something. Mage rank is essentially useless. Leveling up classes isn't satisfying. There needs to be some reason to play that isn't connected to the battle pass. Some sort of like upgrading of something or like an accomplishment that you can receive, an actual something that you can use in the game, not just like a badge or a title, things like that. Like those are cool and all, but like those aren't things that people want to grind for. No one really cares about a badge. Just anything any form of progression that will reward the player for playing that isn't connected to the chapter system.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you there. And then we can kind of get into this in terms of the outfit thing, because I know you have a lot to say about that. But before we do, I want to comment on something in the chat here from Blue Flu. If we do it the way, like, if you have lore that's going level by level, you won't have any content to play for the next 6 weeks.
It's true.
And I feel like I can kind of counter that a little bit if they just lengthen the time it takes to level, which I believe that they will do, given that it took us not that long at all. But it also depends It also depends like how long it takes your average person to complete the thing. Because let's say you have like 3 or 4 hours a day. If you're really grinding and you have a job or you're going to school or whatever, and you're just home for like 3 or 4 hours a day to grind out Spellbreak. I feel like if you take it from there and say extrapolate it to where you're grinding that day by day by day, and then you only have a week left in the battle pass to before you're finished or something like that, to where like the guys that are streaming it and playing it 8 or 10 hours a day are going to finish it really, really early on. But at the same time, like you can put in, like you were saying, something separate from the chapter system that could keep them playing that's not just story related.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's my personal opinion. Like you could do that, but we'll have to see what they end up deciding. I feel like it's going to be, personally, I feel like it's going to be another one of these prologue things where it's going to be like a week at a time. We'll get a little piece, and then other than that, it'll just be like grinding for whatever.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's going to be that way. Although they have kind of gassed up Chapter 1.
Yeah.
Like, that it's going to be really, like, it's going to be good, but...
Oh, you know what? We can talk about release date a little bit. So, yeah, we have Frostborn and then Conduit to get through, as far as, like, what we're following with the elements. There's been a theory going around that maybe they're going to release Chapter 1 at the same time as Game Awards, which is December 10th. I don't know how much I want to put into that theory, but I feel like it could be a bit rough.
Are
if
they
do
nominated
that.
for anything at Game Awards?
Not that I'm aware of.
So it doesn't really make sense for them to release something on that date, in my opinion.
It doesn't, but at the same time, it would be X amount of time, I think like 6 or 7 weeks between like the last patch and like how much longer after the Game Awards are they going to wait for all the new games to go their course, you know, because that's another thing that they were talking about with their marketing, that they don't really want to push it until after the holiday season almost. So like, I'm just trying to think, when are they going to release Chapter 1 and how hyped is it going to be from a marketing perspective?
It's definitely going to be before the holidays. I think, like it would make the most sense. Probably gonna get some holiday themed cosmetics as well. But the December 10th date, maybe. I'm not gonna lie, I wish it was earlier, or wish it would be earlier. But
it would make sense if it was
kind
earlier.
Of appropriate.
It would make sense if it was earlier. I'm just kind of going off of a Reddit post, but yeah, I hope it's earlier. Like, let me pull up my little computer calendar here. So we're at Frostborn starting, I believe, Thursday or Friday. So Frostborn, Conduit's the 26th, and then a week after that. That would put it releasing like December 3rd, which would be Monday. 1 week. What?
Oh wait, sorry, I'm thinking the class skins. Never mind.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about is well, yeah, I guess they do have to cycle through class skins. Maybe that's I don't know.
What I've been going off of. By the time the last class skin is out and done, that's when I think like we'll be like at least hearing about Chapter 1, because like when they're able to share information, they're gonna share information with us.
Yeah, that would make more sense actually if they have an ad in the Game Awards and then release it the following Monday. I think that's what it falls on. Is going to be that if I can scroll down on my calendar here to December 14th. Like, since they're on the 10th, the Game Awards are on the 10th Thursday, they could advertise on the 10th, have the weekend to build hype or whatever, and then release the chapter on 14, which I guess could work. I don't know. That would be a rough timeline, I feel like, given the amount of games that are out. Because personally, like, I don't know about you, but I'm going to be playing a lot of Cyberpunk whenever that comes out.
I still have no idea what that game even is.
It's like Witcher, but not. It's like a completely different setting, but I feel like it's going to be an RPG, just like it. That's what I'm getting from it.
Gotcha.
So, and if you know me at all, you know I like RPGs quite a bit. So I'm going to be having fun on that. But I know that there's other games coming out too. I know Cold War is like taking off right now. I'm hearing mixed things about it, but it is a game that exists. So there's that.
It's the Call of Duty title. That's why it does good.
Yeah, that too. But anyway, getting back on topic here. Of course, talked about the chapter system. I don't really want to get too deep into matchmaking, so I'll probably just skip over it here unless you have a comment on it.
Nah.
Nah. All right. Let's talk about these new talents then. So, Vigor, Foresight, and Ambidextrous. I know you were talking a lot. We were all talking about Ambidextrous quite a bit. And then it got put on the Spirit slot.
Why'd they have to put it in the Spirit slot and make it useless?
I know. we all thought it would be on Body, too.
Because it makes the most sense. Hands, body. I don't know, man. It made the most sense. But Ambidextrous, it's like it's a teddy bear. It seems scary, and then it's just like, oh, you're cute, like.
Yeah.
And then Recovery's over there like. Ugh.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Recovery. I'm so surprised they didn't touch Recovery at all in patch 1.2.
Everybody's surprised about it.
Like we were all like not like this kind of thing. It's like, what? Why?
Like not changing Recovery and putting Ambidextrous in the Spirit talent. Like come on. It's not going to get used. You don't get near the value you get with Ambidextrous as you would with Recovery. Like it's nowhere near.
Yeah, and I would wager it's like that for every talent. Like Recovery has the best value out of all the talents. I ranked it like I had a meta snapshot that I just put out, and I put it in SS because I think it's overpowered, honestly.
Yeah, it's the best talent in the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very. Go ahead.
Like across all categories.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And I don't know what they're gonna do to it, like to nerf it. I mean, you could lengthen the amount of time like they did last time, but that almost did nothing. I feel like I don't know if they up the cost of it. I feel like that's like the Papega brain way to do it. Just make it 3 costs. 4 costs. Oh man, can you imagine people going around like 114? It's like focus, mana, finders, keepers, recovery.
New meta. Let's do it. Knowledge potions everywhere.
Jesus, dude. It's already everywhere. Well, it's not, but like it feels like it is. Knowledge potions are something else, but I won't get into that here. I feel like it was a fun change, but I definitely don't want to see it in competitive or ranked. So there's that.
Yeah.
In terms of recovery, though, like I don't know. I feel like reducing the amount you heal would be the right way to go with it. Like if you made it 30% instead of 50 or something along those lines.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think I said something like that in closed beta 2, just because like recovery was stupid strong before they nerfed it. And,
yeah, I didn't even pick up on that until they nerfed it either. Like it must have been hella strong if it's 4 seconds.
It was stupid, dude. Like you couldn't die at all, man. It was great.
Man, well, I'm glad like people found it and they nerfed it like a lot. I can't remember anyone who was like screaming out that that recovery was overpowered. I feel like you were one of the first people.
It's so funny because when we heard about the talents, like in the live stream that was talking about like CB2, and we heard the talents, everybody thought Thirsty was the most broken thing in the world. And it turns out it's recovery, and Thirsty is completely fine.
Yeah, dude, Thirsty's going burr this patch. Like if you look at the small potions that you can pump out,
you chug, man.
Oh my goodness,
it's like crazy. Shots back to back to back.
You just get a little knock on your little table and just like, let's go, let's do it. But seeing it in competitive events like in Element is really like opened my eyes to it. I'm like, small potions go burr, basically.
They do. It's
crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about Vigor, because Foresight the best for last, in my opinion. Let's talk about Vigor. So 3 cost, 50 max health at fully educated. What do you think about it?
It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. There's no point to run it over Harmony or Runic. I even see like more value out of focus mana than that, to be honest.
Really?
Because you get an extra 50 HP, right? When you have all 3 scrolls. That's not even 2 fireballs.
Yeah, I could see that, but at the same time, you have to pair it with recovery, because that's like the whole thing.
True. I'm kind of thinking of it as a talent on its own.
Mm.
It's cool. I haven't used it once. It might be cool to pair with recklessness because technically you get more recklessness out of it.
Yeah, Crashy's been doing that a lot if you watch his stream at all, or one of his builds. He runs that on Talkohsss quite a bit, actually.
It's not a belt. It's like having a blue belt, but like no belt, you know?
Yeah. It's like a better version of a belt almost, because you can put, again, this is centered around recovery, so it's gonna be very interesting to see like how this all changes whenever recovery gets gutted and hopefully vaulted. I wouldn't be sad if it was vaulted, honestly.
Just give everybody the 2 scroll regeneration by default, and then just take it out of the game.
Really? That's an interesting idea. That's a very interesting idea.
So that way everybody has a little bit of sustain, but it's not a broken amount of sustain.
I could see that. In that same vein, though, I want to talk about, before we get into Foresight, let's talk about scavenging. So I feel like that thing is so obnoxious in Clash, specifically. I feel like it's not that bad in BR, but in Clash, dude, it's a problem.
I can see that because, like, you know, you're about to exile this guy, and then he gets the last hit on your random teammate, and then all of a sudden he has 100 more health than he did a second ago.
Yeah. Like, in my personal opinion, well, scavenging, first of all, used to be, I might be wrong. Well, not even that. I'm going, like, way back to pre-alpha. Because before it would, like, spawn you an extra bit of gear from a chest. And before then, it was like different ranks of chests. So like really small chests would give you 1 item, medium chests would give you 2, and big would give you 3. And scavenging would like increase your loot from chests by 1. So that's what it used to be. Obviously, there's no way to go back on that now. Well, I guess there is, but like I don't really want to. I would rather what scavenging does now, giving you health on exile, just be a default thing over time, not instant. And I would rather scavenging like maybe increase the amount of potions that drops from people, or be completely reworked to something else.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like the health and shield on exile. I just don't like it that it's instant and that it can be so high.
Yeah, we get instant like from scavenging, but like we drink a big pot and it's forever before we get it out. Like not only get it off, but like for it to actually affect us. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. And going on chat here, Blue Flu, you're right. It was gauntlet item and rune chest, but it's still like maybe yeah, remember I remember it dropping like less items depending on the size at the same time. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Well, a gauntlet chest guaranteed a gauntlet.
Yeah.
So like, and then the other 2 items would be random.
Wasn't every chest guaranteed a gauntlet, but gauntlet chests spawn more?
No.
Am I wrong on that?
Guaranteed a gauntlet, and item chest was just guaranteed like a piece of equipment, like amulet, belt, boots, and then rune chest was guaranteed a rune.
Maybe I'm wrong about that then. Blue Flu, you must be talking about a time with being painted red, blue, and yellow like way before I played, because whenever I played, they were the same sizes that they are now, but like different functionality. Actually, no, maybe I did play when they were painted differently, but that was a long time ago. Whenever I played, they were just getting into the new chests. But anyway, besides the point, let's talk about Foresight. So,
Foresight's cool, man.
I really like it, honestly.
Like,
I really like it a lot.
Or the scout mains.
Yeah. Like, not only just because it's cool, but like, it's really good. And I feel like people sleep on it a lot.
It's because it's 3 points, man. And it's really only useful in squads.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even in squads, I feel like people sleep on it. I've only seen three squads run it in competitive. And
it's a lot that you're giving up.
In terms of fervor, you mean?
Yeah, like fervor's huge, man. Fervor's so huge. But then again, in a competitive environment, of course, knowing the next safe zone, knowing where your enemies are, like that's huge. But that's in the competitive environment.
So you're saying in like solo queue, it's going to be a lot less valuable, which I agree with.
Like, unless you really want to play that support role,
Mhm.
There's no reason to really to run Foresight over Fervor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that. It kind of diminishes without comms. Well, it completely diminishes without comms, especially good comms. So
Good
yeah,
comms.
I didn't mean to do that, but yeah. So I could see that. At the same time, though, I've seen it being run on conduits, like as a backline kind of thing. Because like I almost never want to run it if I'm a pyromancer or stone shaper, especially if I'm like trying to protect my foresight user, because
Right.
that's just so huge, and you can get a lot of damage output through that. So I usually see it on conduit. I haven't seen it on Frostborn yet, but that might be the play too, because Frostborns don't really like fervor that much.
You're right. You're right.
Which, speaking of which, that gets me into our next topic, which actually, I'm going to close out this little window here, and I'm going to pull up your post with a little feedback. Now, what's your Reddit username? Because I don't know how to spell it.
Talk_OHS. Unfortunately, you can't change Reddit names, and
Yeah, Big Sag. Let's see. Where is it? From, was it the past week? No, it was past month. I'm getting it pulled up on here. Removal bot, nice. Beautiful. Okay, posts.
Did you get it? I can link you faster.
Yeah, DM it to me if you can. That would be a lot faster. There we go. Excellent. You are the man. All right. So
to
this.
be honest,
Yeah.
sorry. With this Reddit post, I was really not expecting the positive feedback that I got from it at all.
Really?
Because it's Reddit, man. You never know how Reddit's going to take things. It's either going to be like all for you or they're coming at you with pitchforks. Like there's no in between. And then the fact that Andy raised it internally, so it's discussed about, and then Jesse gave me the reply that he gave me, which was huge.
Yeah, it's
all
huge.
of that was completely unexpected.
Yeah. I for one made an entire video about it on my own channel, so that was pretty big. And of course, someone rewarded Jesse, which is always nice. Nice little take my power award. Animated, by the way, so that's even cooler. Yeah, but poor you. You didn't get a reward. I would have awarded you if I had money. But anyway, I want to talk about the changes that he mentioned. So obviously recovery changes. We got that on lock. Pyro and Frostborn and Tempest. Let's talk about those classes real quick. So starting with Pyro.
We can kind of assume what's getting touched. It's got to be combust. That's what the most complained thing about Pyro is, combust.
I would agree.
So that one, as long as it's like a reduction, whatever they do, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Frostborn. The hell are you gonna do to Frostborn, dude?
Dude, hey, they could bring back Frozen Alacrity from pre-alpha.
Yeah, the Switch actually just doesn't exist anymore.
Switch doesn't? What's going on with Switch? Oh no, no. Here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna add another setting below low. That's called Switch.
Oh
my God. It's gonna cap your frame rate at 30 frames per second, and you're just gonna play that way. And it'll handle everything.
It's just pain.
Oh man. But seriously, in a serious sense, I would like to see Frozen Alacrity return to its former glory. I feel like it was really, really fun back in the day, and now it just feels slow.
I would not mind it being sped up, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing here. That means that if recovery gets nerfed and you're running ambidextrous, you're a Zoomy boy on Tempest. That's good for you.
It's true.
At the same time, you can also just put a wind offhand if you want to run ambidextrous. So, but I feel like you want your updraft.
I do want my updraft. Having wind jump without updraft in today's Tempest, it feels bad. Like wind jump back in Alpha was a lot different because not only did we not have levitate, so we didn't have ways to get on those second and third stories, but we always swap gauntlets on our left with ambidextrous no matter what, it's swapping that offhand. So it kind of limits you from, wind jumping and trying to take that frost shot or that fire shot because of the delay from swapping gauntlets with Spellslinger.
Yeah.
I just won't really be running ambidextrous unless they're trying to meme. It's more so a meme talent.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it could be pretty good. It'd be interesting to see, like, because my whole thing is like, I feel like if they nerf the combust radius of pyro too much, then that indirectly nerfs ambidextrous, because that's all I run it for, is for the pyro thing.
True, that's actually huge.
Yeah, so I feel like you might be seeing a buff to ambidextrous if they want to.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't
if they make it worth the 3 points, it'd be cool.
Hey, maybe minus 50% mana costs. Broken as fuck, but you do what you got to do.
It's a lot of frost shots with Tempest, dude. Oh my.
Yeah, it's a lot of talent points too. So maybe, I don't know, probably not, but we'll see. Tempest, they're changing something on Tempest. Talk to me about
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Please don't touch it. I don't know what you're gonna
Really?
do. Don't touch it. I'm so scared.
I want it to be better, honestly.
It's just like
Not just because I suck at it. Okay, not just because I suck at it, but I feel like a lot of people can't really bring it, at least in the competitive scene. I am leaning on the competitive scene a lot in this podcast, but like I never see it ever. Like maybe once or twice.
Tempest is really delicate, right? Like if you give it too much, then you make it broken, and it's the thing to run. And if you don't give it enough, then you just don't see it. Kind of like what's going on now. But at the same time, there's other things that just accomplish the same thing that Tempest does with a lot less effort. And there's also a lot of things that directly counter Tempest. So it makes it feel bad to play, even though it's actually a really good class. Like it's solid. It synergizes really well with the skills. But there's things that really, really just outshine it for less effort and just hard counter it. So I don't think Tempest is in a bad spot right now. So whatever they're doing to it, there's no way it's a nerf. I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Because how many Tempests do you see out there?
Probably count on one hand, how many Tempests I see out there. You're one of them, and yeah, that's about it. Also, I know a lot of people running Tempest that just want to get the class to level 20 and then never touch it again. So there's that too.
I have no idea what they're gonna touch on it. What's the word? Any idea what they would touch on it? Besides maybe air friction or our WASD movement while we're in the
slow
air.
fall. Maybe they changed the slow fall.
Well, the thing is, with like when you wind jump, you get the 65% gravity. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
You get rid of that. You also get rid of attack.
Which is that
ready
ready hopping? Yeah.
You get rid of ready hopping because the only reason ready hopping really works is because you're in updraft, but you also trigger that 65% gravity. That's why you go higher.
So it's because of that gravity and not because of the momentum transfer from dash into wind jump.
Correct. Because you can dash into wind jump and you'll see how high you go. And then you can just dash into updraft and you're like, okay, I don't really go that much higher, but then you add the wind jump for that 65% gravity and that's what triggers it.
Okay. I actually didn't know that, so that's cool. Learning stuff on the SpellCast podcast, which is nice. I don't know, maybe they give you more damage reduction on Squall. Maybe they up it to 20%.
That would be insane, in my opinion. Like I think that's broken.
I think so too, but it might be what they do.
Because then
you know what else would be broken?
Stack that with recovery, or not recovery. Stack that with harmony, dude. That's 35%.
You know what else would be broken? They made sudden gust apply to runes too.
Oh, give it to me now, please.
No, that'd be insane. I don't think that they would do that. But if they did,
Bash, dude, let's go.
Yeah, if they did, I'm a Tempest main. That'd be pretty cool.
But I'm excited and nervous for whatever they're going to do to Tempest because it's either I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm scared.
Yeah. Well, going into everyone's favorite gauntlet, Lightning, interesting to see what they're going to change on there if it's not just a damage reduction or whatever it is.
If they do just a numbers thing with lightning, I don't think it'll be enough.
Yeah, big Sag. In my opinion.
I've had a few ideas for lightning, which I said one of them in my feedback. I wanted to be really light on lightning because like I'm kind of biased with my hate for it, so that's why I went really soft on it in my feedback. I said just increase the mana cost, which makes sense, especially being a conduit because what is it, power surge?
Yeah,
that
power
gives you
surge.
unlimited mana. So if you increase the mana for the base lightning gauntlet, it kind of balances out conduits getting unlimited mana.
Yeah, but I have a different idea for power surge. Not that I think that they're going to do it this patch, but
I also wanted fervor to not affect lightning, just the wind up of it, just like it does with frost, because fervor really makes that potential energy DPS just insane.
Yeah, well, I think it does that anyway, wouldn't it? Because it's just cast speed in between each bolt. You know?
Yeah, but
like
if it didn't affect that, I feel like that would be healthy.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like Conduit just needs a hard look at it in general, especially when it's paired with Focus Mana, because that's with Power Surge, that's ridiculous. It applies to everything too. Like it's not just your lightning.
Yep.
Because you can Focus Mana fireballs for 4 seconds and get 50 damage out. It's crazy.
And like, I don't know, like you can't dodge lightning. It's just not possible.
Yeah, it's way too fast.
And they have a whole mana bar, so like even if they miss some shots, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah,
like
just a matter of how much.
You can't dodge it. You can't dodge this. It sucks, man. It really sucks.
You can't react to it. Rather.
Yeah,
there's no reacting
even
to
with Frost, where Frost is a pretty fast projectile, you can still see it coming and react. Like you can't do that with lightning. It's just it's there.
Yeah. Also, Frost has like that sound cue that you can be like, oh shit, someone's aiming at me. Get out of here. So I don't know. I don't know what they would do. Honestly, I feel like. What's up?
Nope, you go.
Oh, you're saying something about Crashy. I was just looking at it actually. Let's see. Potential energy damage ramp should only happen if you're consistently. Yeah, I feel like everybody was saying that. Yeah, we've been saying it since it came out. Like literally on day one. Actually, no, on minute 1 we were saying that.
Because we all thought that's actually how we all thought it worked when they first did patch 2.2.
Oh, not me, man. I read that thing correctly. I was like, oh shit, this is broken. And it used to stack up to 10. It used to stack up to 10.
People were hitting for 30s, dude. Like,
I remember that clip. It's similar to your Outbreak clip, which, by the way, I was wrong on the first podcast. It actually was 75% on that clip, so my bad. But anyway, but no, Kamsky has a video that achieves that same effect where he literally just stands on a wall and just tracks someone until they die in like a second and a half. It's ridiculous.
It was pain. Just
it's like
pain.
I'm standing here and it's just dead. And that's it. No rune, no movement, just tracking and damage. Nothing the guy could do. So
see, like, what's interesting to me is that they're changing the gauntlet and not the class.
Exactly. That's what I've been pointing out is like they say lightning specifically and not conduit.
Yes. So that means conduit, we're seeing no change to conduit.
Yep.
Which, whatever they do to lightning, if they do enough, conduit might actually be balanced.
Yeah, could be. Maybe they put more delay in between casts.
I'm also really scared because, like, the update with potential energy, it felt like such an out of touch thing with the community because lightning's been complaining about since pre-alpha.
No, we had a joke, okay? Me and a lot of people on Element at the time had a joke, like, because they had, like, they were advertising the player cancel at the time, right? And we were thinking, who did they show this to in the player council that said this was okay? Like, that was our joke.
I just want to talk to him.
Yeah, like, I want to know who's in there so I can calmly say, you're wrong, sir. But actually not. So... I feel like something they could do with that with lightning though is just increase the time in between casts. I feel like that's what they're gonna do.
So like in between bolts.
Yeah.
So like it would be like buzz, 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 kind of like
Yeah.
DMR
Yeah.
style.
Yeah. So like they can make whatever it is currently the fervor boost, and then just slow the normal use. I feel like that's what they're gonna end up doing. I feel like that's the right way to go with it if they're gonna keep conduit the same. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
I'm still hoping for a mana cost increase.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be like a different way of approaching it, but it doesn't fix the power surge problem.
It kind of balances the power surge problem.
Not
Or not-
really,
wait,
because it's
yeah,
unlimited. It's unlimited mana, so it doesn't matter. Like, because those 4 seconds are so crucial for your focus mana. If you increase the cast time in between, each bolt, then that's less that you can utilize those 4 seconds.
The thing is, you actually kind of only have 3 seconds because of the cast time on the lightning strike.
That's true. That's true. I still
But
want to see it nerfed.
I do hear what you're saying. Yes, I agree.
Like, ideally, what I would do is I would change Power Surge to not give unlimited mana. I'll just change it to give you plus 50 mana on activation. That way it doesn't completely bust focus mana, because you can still do 80% of 150. Does that make sense?
I like that.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
like
that's
that
the
a
way.
lot.
Yeah, that way you're not 4 seconds of God mode, basically. Which I feel like, in a way, that's almost all you need. But maybe I'm wrong. I still don't like potential energy, but I don't think I ever will. I don't think I ever will, just to the nature of it. It's better than what they had in the past, though. Go ahead.
Make it +3 instead, and only ramp up on hit.
I like that. I like that a lot more. I really do. Ice,
On to
though.
the next gauntlet, ice.
Why?
Dude, I have no idea. I think ice is perfect.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Unless they're touching the sorcery. Unless they're touching the sorcery. That's the only thing I could see them changing and feeling good about. If they change the way that thing charges, man, I'm rioting. And by that,
Okay.
I mean I'm going to League of Legends.
What if they made the gauntlet do less damage, but charge up faster? And I'm talking like 55 for legendary.
No,
To make it an actual combat bow instead of a sniper.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I feel like, I don't know. There's just something about that I don't like. I like being rewarded heavily for hitting those shots. And I feel like just being able to do it more at less damage is not as rewarding in terms of playing it.
I can hear that. It would
Also,
it would be an
like,
accuracy game.
yeah, I feel like the charge up time, like also with, and this goes back into your Tempest argument, okay? Or your Tempest class. Like, I can throw down 2 wind shears and charge up my frost, and by the time I'm just over the arc of that wind jump, my frost is fully charged, and squall activates, and the shot goes off. Like, I feel like that timing is so perfect right now, just specifically on that. And I feel like you don't have to change it based on anything else. Like, it feels so good, that timing.
It does. It does.
So,
That's
I don't like, yeah.
The Frost Gauntlet feels great as a main hand, but even better as an offhand. And there's not many gauntlets. Like, not every gauntlet is like that. Like Wind,
Yeah.
for example. Like, Wind is okay as an offhand, but it's a lot better as a main hand.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I feel that.
Whatever they're doing to Frost, man, I hope it doesn't completely change the gauntlet, to be honest.
It's going to be a nerf, though. Has to be, right?
Uh,
Like, if they're saying they're going to change it, then it has to be a nerf. I can't imagine it'd be anything else. Just because it's so good as an offhand.
yeah, I feel like it's a lot better as an offhand than it is a main hand.
I agree with you. I think Frostborn sucks. Like, I honestly think it's the worst class in the game. And I don't know why people play it, but they still do.
I'd agree, but I think Stone Shaper is probably just as bad because Stone Shaper hardly even has a class.
I feel like Stone Shaper is not that bad, but I
The
feel like
gauntlet
it's
is really good though.
I feel like
That's
it's
the
mostly
thing.
Bedrock. It's mostly Bedrock that makes it better in my mind.
Yeah,
And
just
also
like with
also
Pyro.
Boulders.
Pyro's kind of it's just combust.
Yeah, Firefly's nice, but yeah, it's mostly combust.
Firefly is Firefly is such a bad skill in my opinion.
I love Firefly, man.
It's
I love it so much.
slow, dude. I snipe people all day out of it.
Well, like, are they flying in a straight line the entire time?
No, dude, I'm hitting those.
No, I'm just hitting.
I'm just hitting those, man. Like they're so slow. It's funny.
I still like it though. Like if you pair it with dash, you go a lot faster. And I
Yeah,
feel like
that's a whole different story.
yeah, I feel like I like that aspect of it. And I almost never use Firefly unless like the way you're talking about, I'll probably never use it against a Tempest because of your reason. Yeah, like that's happened to me so many times where I'm just like, okay, change up the strategy, don't do it this way. So like the way I use it is if I'm up against Tempest, I am fire jetting that thing and flying straight up to match your height, and then I'm hitting fireballs. If I'm fighting a Stone Shaper, then I don't care because I'm just off the ground the entire time. So like I don't really care about it in that aspect. But yeah, I can see what you're saying with that. I just like conflagration and not be what it is currently.
Conflag, dude.
Can we talk about it? Like it's
Let's
either
talk about
broken
how
or it's useless.
Conflag really is for all parties, not just the opponent, but you as a pyromancer, and how it benefits you in any way, shape, or form besides particle effects that make it so you can't see shit. Like
basically,
it's
just
only good in close encounters. Like
you have to
if
be in a
see somebody
doorway.
running into something, you can just boom, and then there's conflag all over the place, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But if you're hitting fireballs on somebody that's 5 meters away from you, like it's just distracting, like, and you hurt yourself from it. Like,
Yeah. Personally, I'd like to see it change to where, like, whatever direction your fireball's flying, if you have 3 smaller fireballs fly in the same direction and kind of fan out like a cone formation, like you have one fireball and it fans out into smaller fireballs that go to the same direction.
Instead of like around the surface of it.
Yeah,
it
instead of a
goes
90 degree.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes like a 45. And it also leaves tiny fire puddles.
Tiny fire puddles. Yeah, so let's counter Tox even more, dude.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Dude, Tox can shit on a pyromancer. I'm not even kidding. Like, it does.
That brings another thing. Tox was not mentioned in Jesse's reply.
They're just changing Shadow Step back to where it was before the momentum transfer, which makes me sad.
The momentum transfer, well, it's not intended. So
yeah, it's a bug, so they're reverting it.
But bro, Outbreak on Shadow Step, man.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
I don't think it's overpowered, but I think it is really, really, really strong.
I don't think that rune triggering Outbreak should be a full 75% damage. I think it should be toned down to like 20.
I feel like if you base something on invisibility, then you keep the invisibility consistent. So the way you fix that is here's the way I've thought of it. Okay, so currently I feel like Toxicologists or the Toxic Gauntlet in general, the range is too wide, like the fan is too wide, and the range is too long. So I feel like you really shorten that up, but you close the fan a little bit, and you decrease legendary damage down to, I don't know, it's at 56 right now. You change 46. It down to, no, it's more than that, I feel like, isn't it?
46.
It's at 46 right now.
Yep.
Okay, make it 40. So that you can hit,
so
you can 40? Hit the mid-range.
40 is less than what Rare does right now. Rare does 41.
Yeah. I feel like if you decrease the fan and make it more focused, you get more of your toxic slaps off. Or not more of them off, but you get like more sprays hitting the target, which then procs more damage. But at the same time, you don't make it as long of range as it does currently. You can almost cut the range in half.
It's an indirect nerf to gardening too. I'm with it.
Yeah. So like there's not as many toxic puddles on the ground because they're not falling from 50 feet in the air. And basically it nerfs the total damage of Outbreak. So if someone's really good, then you're not taking as much damage because 75% of 40 is 30, which makes it a 70 total base Outbreak damage, which helps you out a little bit. I feel like that could be a decent way to do it. But at the same time, like at that mid-range where it spreads out too much, you'd be hitting more with a closer spread if your aim is good. So like rewards better aim, but also like heavily rewards better aim. And also nerfs Outbreak in that way. Does that make sense?
It does. It's just the triggering of the runes is really what it brings back to me, because like as a toxicologist,
there's literally zero reason not to use Shadow Step. Besides, I just don't want to use Shadow Step this game.
Okay.
Because it
So
benefits the class so much. It's almost like you have to run it, but just because it's your best option, no matter what.
yeah, I feel that. I'm just trying to think like keeping in theming with invisibility on Toxicologist.
Like invisibility is so like it doesn't make sense to me why someone can be invisible, have movement, and do increased damage all at the same time. That's a lot that you're getting out of it, and
basically Kha'Zix from League of Legends.
I've never played League, so I wouldn't know. But
he does increase damage out of invisibility, basically.
Like I understand it's fitting that like rogue assassin type thing, but
yeah,
the triggering of the runes with it, and like not everybody's eyes are the same. People just be like, "Oh, just track the invis better, dude." Like not everybody's seeing the same thing that you're seeing. Like some people see invis a lot better than others.
Settings affect it too.
Yeah,
if you're locked in on console to a certain setting, you might not ever see it.
I don't like messing with settings to see invis because it feels like it's cheating.
No, I agree with you.
But the movement with invisible and increased damage, it's a lot that you're getting, and runes triggering that, it should at least be less damage because runes are something that happens outside of the class. Outbreak happening from your Vanishing Mist, like all of that makes sense. It's tied in with the class.
So, do you think increased damage from Vanishing Mist and Outbreak, and no damage from Shadow Step?
I would love for Outbreak to go back to 100% and be the only way to trigger it be Vanishing Mist. Or I would compromise and make it so 75% Outbreak on VM, 20% Outbreak on runes. Because hitting someone for 50 plus, that's still a lot of damage. Like Squall with Toxic Legendary does 55. That's still four-shotting somebody.
Right. I feel like the way that I would go about it, if you want to go like the route of decreased damage off of runes, I would go bring Outbreak back to 100%. Don't make it activate on runes, but your Vanishing Mist or your Toxic Cloud, once you hit Spreading Sickness, like I don't know if you want to change this part, or if you just want to add it to a base Toxicologist kit as a Vanishing Mist additive, but you increase the amount of clouds by 1. It's like you can have 2 charges of clouds. It would be 100%.
That's fun.
Yeah, you have to change that. Or you can do Spreading Sickness as the cloud and just not have the fan out.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with that.
I feel like that's the way you would do it if you wanted to compromise that way. Yeah. Other than that, it would just be easier for them to nerf Outbreak damage, which sucks. That really sucks for Toxicologist mains. But anyway. Let's see what else I want to talk about. We are getting to the end of our time here. It's already 7. Let's do one more topic and then we'll call it a day. So Stone, just add Bedrock to everything, in my opinion. It feels so good. Just do it. Just do it. Why not? Damn it, there was one more thing I want to talk about. I'm gonna pull up my sheet so I can stay on topic here. Okay, here. I'll throw this question back at you that Seth, if you could snap your fingers and change one thing or multiple things about the game to make it better, what would it be? Go.
About the game itself? Not
like what would you add or subtract to make it better? Or like this can go anywhere.
Delete lightning. Okay, no, but memes aside, I want.
You sounded so serious too.
I want to rework Vitalstone. Rename Vitalstone to Phoenix Rebirth because that's what it is. It's what makes sense for it. You glow, all of a sudden you come back. And then add a way to bring your teammates back from the dead. Because if you look in the lore, each breaker has a vital stone hidden somewhere in the Hollowlands to prevent them from actually dying. That's why we get exiled.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Didn't know that.
It's hidden somewhere secret where only they know. So whenever they get exiled, bloop, they're back at their vital stone. what I would like to add is a respawn system where you basically pick up somebody's vital stone or like their soul or whatever, and you take it to an altar where their vital stone is or whatever, and then bloop, you bring them back, and of course there'll be like a big beacon in the sky saying like somebody's getting risked over here, and it would be a risk versus reward thing. That's what I would add if I could just snap my fingers. I think it'd be healthy for the game, especially for new players. It's kind of like a staple of BR right now. Every BR has got it except for like PUBG.
Because PUBG will never change
on
though.
Realism side of things, so that makes sense. But we're magical beings just shooting fireballs out of our hands. Like, I think we can come back to life.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. I feel like that's kind of where I'm going to go with it. But yeah, I like that idea a lot. What I would do, other than that, because I would have included that, I like the idea of bringing back some aspects that succeeded for Realm Royale, where you have forges.
A forge, yes.
Bring back some forges, baby. Yes. So my thinking here is, okay, we rework the entire way that rarities are set. Currently, you can loot a chest and get any rarity up to epic of anything that you want as long as you find it in the chest. So what my thing would be is, yes, you can still have your looting phase if you want, but everything that spawns out of the chest the first time around is going to be common or uncommon. It's not going to be that much. And then every time you progressively get into a zone, it will upgrade your rarity. So it creates kind of a scaling environment in terms of how the classes stack up. Like, you could have Pyromancer, which is going to be a very, very good early game class. And then at the same time, you can balance around that to where it's not as effective late game. Or, like, this is just for Battle Royale, by the way. This could be completely different in a different mode. But for Battle Royale, like, you can make Tempest be a really, really weak early game class, which I know you don't like. But you could also change stuff about it to mitigate that in the class itself. But it would be a really, really, really hyper-scaling late game class to where you're doing so much damage. It's your final 1v1, and you chose Tempest and you lasted all the way there, so here's some free power that you get. It might be bad, but the way Forges would work is in the center of every zone, you could unequip a piece of gear and upgrade it completely to Legendary. Based on what rarity you're going from, it would increase the amount of time it takes to upgrade it. Then you get it back, it's Legendary, and you can go nuts with it. And also players can play around that and say, hey, he's without a gauntlet for a minute or so, and we can attack him now while he's vulnerable and get the gauntlet that he's trying to go. So what do you think?
I like it. It can reduce RNG, and it's a good way of progression in the game outside of just the class. What I've been thinking is, so like taking ideas from other games is something that games really don't do enough of, because if something works, you don't really need to reinvent the wheel, man. Like, take Apex, for example. When it came out, a week later, Fortnite added a ping system in their game.
It didn't have it before?
No.
The heck, man, that's whack.
Yeah,
whack.
So like taking ideas from other games is a good thing. So like,
I like it.
Hyperscape's looting, where if you find a duplicate item, it upgrades the rarity of yours.
Yeah, I like
That's not a bad idea. Belt swapping.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, we eliminate, or rather, we don't eliminate armor scaling off of belts, but you just get base armor, period. So I can use my shield potions.
Apex has that.
Can we just do that, please? Like, is that too much to ask?
If you down somebody and kill them, you can loot their loot box, grab their shield, boom, you have full shield again. Third parties are inevitable in BRs, so like, why not have this feature? Sounds like a good one to me.
Yeah. That can tie into the scavenging thing that I was thinking of just on base. If you wanted to. You could change scavenging outright. Just make it something different. But I really like the idea of the forge from Realm Royale. I feel like it's something you almost need in Spellbreak thematically. Like, I don't know why they don't already have it.
We're, magic and stuff like that. You can
literally rework mana vaults to do it, and just fill your gauntlet with, I don't know, concentrated mana or whatever you want to call it.
Concentrated mana.
Whatever you want to call it, like, I don't know, arcane energy or whatever you want to call it. So I feel like that's the way to go, but at the same time, BR might not be the focus anymore. So we'll see what the future holds. But anyway, Talkohsss, it's been over an hour. So at this point, I do have to sign off. Now, I will give you a nice little opportunity to outro, get yourself promos going. I put everything into the description a little bit late, but it is there now. Go ahead and let everyone know where they can find you.
So, guys, you can all find me on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, all under Talkohsss, right as you see under my camera right here. Same name on all socials. Yeah, I stream every day, except for today because I wasn't feeling it today, but every day.
Special guest. Seriously, go follow his content. He's probably one of the best Tempests you'll ever watch. Ashen Frost is going to get mad at that one, but I don't care. Go watch him.
He doesn't even play the game anymore.
Yes, he does. Don't diss him like that. He plays the game sometimes. But anyway, go follow Talkohsss. He's great. Follow him on Twitter as well. Got some great memes that we didn't talk about. Should talk about that for next time whenever I have you back. But yeah, go check him out. And guys, that's going to conclude this episode of SpellCast. I'd like to remind you guys we have this every weekend, once a week, usually around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or maybe it'll change for this next guest. But anyway, y'all have a great night. It's been a pleasure having y'all, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.